The forest was dark and quiet. Thick fog covered the trees, and strange whispers moved with the wind. Commander Jace Aldrin had been walking alone for hours, trying to find a way back to his team. His ship had crash-landed in this strange alien jungle on a scouting mission. The rest of his crew had scattered, chased by strange shadows and howling sounds that didn't belong to any animal he knew. Jace checked his pulse blaster again. Only one shot left. His comms device was broken, his shoulder bleeding from the crash. The vines around him glowed faintly, and he could feel something watching him. He didn't believe in ghosts, but this place was different. Something lived here, something old. Something dangerous. Suddenly, a deep growl came from behind him. Jace turned quickly, aiming his weapon, but froze. Standing just a few feet away was a tall humanoid creature with silver-blue hair, glowing eyes, and sharp wolf-like ears. Her skin shimmered in the misty light. She wore black armor that looked hand-forged, tribal, and powerful. Her gaze locked onto his, not with hatred, but with curiosity. She spoke in a low voice, her words broken but understandable. "You bleed." "Not enemy?" Jace lowered his weapon slightly. "I'm not here to fight you." The girl tilted her head, sniffing the air. Then she stepped forward and pressed her clawed hand against his wound. Her eyes glowed brighter. Her claws touched his skin, and something strange happened. A sudden jolt of energy ran through Jace's body. His vision blurred and then cleared again. The pain in his shoulders stopped. The girl stepped back, looking stunned. "You are marked," she whispered. "It happened. It cannot be undone." Jace stared at her. What happened? The girl took a deep breath, her body tense. "Life bond. Your blood touched mine. Our souls now linked." Jace didn't understand. Linked? What does that mean? She didn't answer right away. Her hand went to her chest, just above her heart. "You saved me. I saved you. That is enough. My name is Rila. I am part of the Nightfang pack." Jace could barely believe this was happening. First, he'd crashed, then chased by monsters. Now an alien werewolf girl had bonded with him by accident. None of this made sense. He looked at her closely. She was stunning, wild, powerful, and confused. "I'm Jace," he said. "Commander Jace Aldrin. I'm from Earth," she nodded. "Earthman, human, I know your kind. You don't belong here." Jace was about to ask more when another loud roar echoed through the trees. Ryla's ears perked up. Her eyes went sharp. She grabbed Jace's arm. "We must go, now." Without waiting, she ran, pulling him with surprising strength. Jace followed, barely keeping up. They ran through thick vines, over twisted roots, and under giant leaves dripping with mist. Behind them, massive footsteps shook the ground. "What is it?" Jace asked, gasping for breath. Rila answered without looking back. "Hunters, the old beasts. They smell your blood." A tree snapped in the distance, and a massive shadow passed between the trunks. Jace saw glowing red eyes and teeth longer. Then his hand. Whatever it was hunting them. Rayla suddenly leaped forward and tackled Jace into a hidden cave behind a thick curtain of moss. They hit the ground hard, rolling to a stop. She placed a finger to her lips and listened. The beast stomped outside but didn't come in. After a few tense minutes, it left. Jace let out a long breath. Rayla stayed quiet, watching him with a strange expression. "You are strong," she said softly. "Most would have died already." "Thanks," Jace said, rubbing his shoulder. "But I don't feel strong. I just want to survive." She looked away. "Now we are linked. Your survival is mine too." Jace leaned against the cave wall. He could still feel the energy from when she touched him. It was like his blood was warmer now, like something inside him had changed. "You didn't mean to bond with me, did you?" "No," she said quietly. "But fate has chosen, and now others will hunt you. Some will want to kill you. Some will want to claim you. Jace raised an eyebrow. Claim me? Her eyes glowed again. You carry the scent of my pack now, but you are not of us. They will see you as a threat or a prize. He didn't like the sound of that. So what now? Rayla looked straight at him, serious and calm. Now we survive together. And I will make sure no one takes what is mine. Jace didn't argue. He didn't understand all the rules of this place or her people. But one thing was clear, he was in deep. And things were only going to get stranger. Rayla moved silently through the thick jungle, her sharp eyes scanning every shadow. Jace followed behind her, still confused but trying to stay quiet. The bond between them was real. He could feel her presence in his mind, distant, but always there, like a strange warmth resting near his heart. She didn't speak unless necessary. But when she looked back to check on him, her gaze held something deeper. Not just concern, something protective. The path they walked was not safe. Strange creatures crawled on the trees, and the wind carried whispers that made Jace's skin crawl. This world was alive in ways Earth could never be. It breathed, watched, and sometimes growled. Rayla knew how to move through it. Her body bent like a hunter, low and silent, her ears twitching at the smallest sound. Jace, on the other hand, stumbled more than once. Do not drag your feet, Rayla whispered. The ground listens. Jace nodded. I'm trying. I didn't grow up in a death forest, you know. Her lips twitched into a small smile, just for a second. Then it was gone. She crouched low and pointed ahead. There, old den. Safe place. The den was carved into the roots of a massive glowing tree. Thick vines covered the entrance like a curtain. Inside it was warmer, with soft moss on the floor and carved markings on the walls. It looked like someone once lived here, maybe. Even her pack dot as they entered. Jace noticed Rayla touch one of the markings gently. Her expression turned cold. This was my sister's place. She did not return after the blood moon. I'm sorry, Jace said quietly. Rayla shook her head. It is not your pain, but Jace still felt it. The bond between them allowed small feelings to slip through: grief, worry, even flashes of memory. He had never asked for this connection. But now that it was there, he couldn't ignore it. They sat inside the den for a while. Rayla removed the armor from her arms and began cleaning her claws with a small curved blade. Jace looked around the den and noticed strange bones in the corner, polished and marked with symbols. Everything in this place felt both ancient and wild. After a while, Jace broke the silence. So what happens next? You said others would hunt. Me? Yes, she said. The bonding was not done with permission. My people may see you as a thief, and some may see you as a way to control me. Can they break the bond? Rayla looked at him. Not without killing one of us. Jace sighed. Great, that's comforting. She stood up and walked toward him. Her eyes held a different light now. She tilted her head, studying him like prey, but also like something else. You smell like me now, not fully, but enough, Jace blinked. Thanks? Rayla leaned in slightly. It will confuse the others. They will not know what you are. And some females may challenge me. For me? Jace said, in disbelief. I'm not exactly the prize here. She stared at him. You do not understand. The bond is sacred. You touched my blood and lived. Your strength, even without claws, is rare. That makes you valuable. Jace felt uncomfortable under her gaze. Not because she was frightening, she wasn't. It was the opposite. Her beauty was wild and raw. She looked strong, fierce, and proud. And now, somehow, she was tied to him. I didn't mean for this to happen, he said quietly. I know, she replied. But it has, and now I must protect you. Jace looked into her eyes. And what about you? Who protects you? She paused for a moment, surprised by the question. Then she gave a quiet answer. I do. A deep growl echoed outside. Rayla's ears perked. She stood, her claws ready. "We are not alone," she whispered. Jace grabbed a sharp stick from the side of the den. It was crude, but better than nothing. The noise outside grew louder, heavy steps, sniffs, more growls. Rayla narrowed her eyes. "Scouts from the Shadowclaw clan. They smell the bond. They will try to test it. Test it how? By taking you. By marking you as theirs." Jay stepped back. "That's not happening." Rayla bared her sharp teeth. "No, it's not." Outside, shadows moved. A howl filled the air. Rayla stepped out slowly, her body tense, ready. She didn't look back. "You stay," she ordered. "I'll deal with this." Jace opened his mouth to argue, but she was already gone. Disappearing into the mist. He sat in the dark, heart pounding, gripping the stick tightly. He didn't know what was coming. He didn't know if she'd win. But one thing was certain: this world had changed him, and the bond was growing stronger with each breath. The jungle was filled with the sound of growls and breaking branches. Jace sat inside the den, tense, listening closely. Every noise outside made his heart pound. He knew Rayla was fighting alone, and he was supposed to stay hidden, but doing nothing felt worse than facing death. Suddenly, a high-pitched howl cut through the air. Then silence. Jay stood up and rushed to the den's entrance. He pulled the vines aside and looked outside. At first he saw nothing, just thick mist and trees. But then Rayla appeared. She walked slowly, her armor scratched, blood on her cheek. But it wasn't hers. She stopped in front of him, breathing hard. "They're gone," she said. "Two scouts. They won't return." Jay stepped forward. "You're hurt." "Not badly." He gently reached up and wiped the blood from her face. She flinched at first but didn't stop him. For a moment, they both stood there in silence, the mist curling around their feet. "Why didn't you let me help?" he asked. Rayla looked into his eyes. "Because if you had died, the bond would have shattered, and I would have gone mad." He didn't know what to say. Her voice was calm, but her hands were still shaking. She wasn't just protecting him because of duty. Something deeper was growing between them. Inside the den, she sat down again, rubbing her arms. Her breathing was slowing down. Jace joined her, still holding the sharp stick like it could help. "What exactly are the Shadowclaw clan?" he asked. Rayla looked at him with narrowed eyes. "They are one of the rival packs, darker, cruel. They don't care about the old rules. They take what they want. And they wanted me?" "They wanted what I claimed," she replied. "They think you are a weapon, or a way to hurt me." Jace leaned back against the wall. "So now I'm a walking target." "You were always a target," she said. "But now you are mine. That means you're protected and hunted." Jace tried to smile. Not exactly comforting. She didn't smile back, but she reached out and touched his chest lightly. "You need to learn how to fight in this place. Not just with sticks." He nodded. "You'll teach me?" "Yes, you'll learn fast. Or you'll die." Again, very comforting. That night they didn't sleep. Rayla stood at the edge of the den, watching the trees. Jace stayed beside her, still tired but unable to close his eyes. Something about her presence gave him strange peace, even if danger was everywhere. At dawn, they moved again. They traveled deep into the jungle where the trees grew even thicker and the air smelled of metal and earth. Rayla brought him to a place near a small waterfall. The rocks were smooth and a wide flat space opened between trees. "This is where you'll train," she said. Jace looked around. "Train for what?" "To move like us. To survive like us." She began showing him how to walk without sound, how to smell the wind, how to sense when something was watching. At first, he failed everything. He stepped on twigs, made noise, and couldn't feel anything except frustration. Rayla didn't get angry. She watched him. studied him. And every time he made a mistake, she simply said, "Again." By the third hour, he was sweating. His legs burned, and his breath came heavy. But he didn't give up. "You are slow," she said. "But strong. I've seen weaker humans. Is that supposed to be a compliment?" She paused. "Yes." Later, while he sat by the water to rest, Rayla sat near him. Her expression softened a little. "You don't complain much." "I don't have time to. I'm too busy trying not to die." She nodded. "That is how it works here." As the sun dipped lower, Jace noticed something. Rayla was different. Now less guarded. Her shoulders were relaxed. Her voice less sharp. "You've been alone a long time," he said. She didn't answer right away. Then she spoke, low and honest. "I lost many. My sister, my mate. My people scattered after the pack wars. I've been surviving, not living." Jace didn't know what to say. He placed his hand gently over hers. "You're not alone now." She looked at their hands and didn't pull away. "That is dangerous," she whispered. "Feelings." Jace smiled softly. "Too late." She looked up at him, her eyes glowing faintly. "Then stay close. If you truly mean it, stay close. Do not let the others take you. Do not run from what this bond has made." "I'm not running," he said. "I'm still here." The jungle grew quiet as night returned. And for the first time since the crash, Jace didn't feel like an outsider. He felt claimed. He felt connected. He felt home. Asterisk. The next few days changed everything. Jace trained from morning till night. Rayla was a fierce teacher. She showed him how to fight with claws, even though he had none. She taught him how to use speed, how to duck and strike, how to read the movement of trees and listen to the air. He learned to track with his nose, to hear footsteps from far away, and how to sleep with one ear open. Jace improved fast, and Ryla noticed it. Every time he moved better, reacted quicker, or made a clean strike during training, she nodded with quiet approval. She didn't praise him out loud, but the small look in her eyes said everything. They hunted together too. Small creatures, not for sport, but survival. Rayla taught him to respect what he killed, to waste nothing. This was not Earth. Every piece of meat mattered. Every drop of water was earned. At night, they sat by small fires hidden under rocks and branches. Jace asked her about her world. She told him about the clans, the bloodline laws, and the old legends of her people, how werewolves once protected the stars, how the bond he now shared with her was considered sacred and unbreakable. "Your kind sees us as monsters," she said once, staring into the fire. "But we were once guardians. Now we are just scattered memories." Jace looked at her, sitting there in her black armor, silver hair catching the firelight. She didn't look like a monster to him. She looked like a warrior who had lost too much. "You're not a monster," he said. "You saved me." "You didn't have to. I didn't save you for honor," she replied. "I saved you because I felt something. Something I didn't expect." "What did you feel?" She hesitated. "Peace. When I touched your blood, I didn't see war. I saw quiet, warmth." Jace wasn't sure how to answer. He felt it too, that strange peace when she was near. Even in this deadly world, she made him feel safe. But peace didn't last long. One morning, Rayla stopped moving as they crossed a shallow river. She sniffed the air, her body tense. "They're close," she whispered. "Not Shadowclaw. Someone worse." Jace froze. "Worse than Shadowclaw?" Rayla gave a slow nod. "Bloodfangs, rogues. They don't follow laws. They don't care about packs or balance. They want power. And they eat what they bond." Jace's blood ran cold. They eat bonded humans? They consume the bond. It gives them strength. They are wild, unclean. What do? We move, fast. They began running, silent but quick. Through vines, over logs, down hills. The jungle around them felt darker. The trees leaned closer. Jace could hear low breathing in the shadows. Then the ambush came. A massive beast with blood-red fur burst from the bushes, slamming into Ryla. Another leapt at Jace, claws out. He ducked, rolled, and stabbed upward with a sharp bone spear. Ryla made him carry. The creature screamed. Ryla was already fighting the bigger one, dodging, slashing, moving like wind and fire. Jace stabbed again at the one near him, but it recovered fast. The thing lunged until Ryla threw her blade straight through its chest. It fell. The other Bloodfang turned to run, but she chased it down. Jace watched as she vanished into the trees. For minutes, he only heard snarls, bone cracking, and growls that echoed like thunder. Then silence. Ryla returned, her armor dripping, breathing hard. "They'll send more," she said. "They know now. They can smell the bond. It draws them. So what do? We go to the old temple," she said. "It's forbidden ground. No pack dares enter it, not even rogues. But if we stay outside, we die." Jace nodded. He trusted her now more than he trusted anyone else. "Then let's go." She looked at him with fire in her eyes. "You're not afraid?" "I am," he admitted. "But not of you, not anymore." She stepped closer and touched his chest with her clawed finger. "You are becoming more than human. The bond is changing you." "I feel it," he whispered. Her gaze softened. "You are mine now, Jace, and I won't let this world take you." He reached up and held her hand. "Then we fight together." That night, under the stars, they walked toward the place where no one dared go. The old temple waited in silence. But Jace knew he wasn't the same man who crashed here. And Ryla was no longer just a stranger in the woods. She was his bond. His protector. And maybe something even more. The old temple rose from the jungle like the bones of a forgotten god. Tall stone pillars twisted with moss stood under a broken sky, glowing faintly with ancient symbols. Vines crawled across the cracked walls, and the air was thick with silence. Nothing moved here. No birds, no animals, not even insects. It was as if the world itself had stepped back and chosen not to breathe. Ryla walked slowly, her head lowered. She didn't speak. Her sharp eyes moved over the ruins like she was reading something only she could see. Jace followed, feeling the weight of the place. The ground under his boots didn't feel like normal dirt. It felt cold, like it remembered pain. Still, they walked deeper into the temple. "What is this place really?" Jace asked softly. Ryla finally stopped at a stone circle surrounded by broken statues. "This is where the first bonds were made. Long before the clans, before war. This was the center of peace." Jace looked around. "Why is it abandoned?" "Because peace died," she said. "The clans turned on each other. The temple was cursed. Anyone who stayed too long went mad." "Then why are we here?" Ryla turned toward him. "Because the bond we have, if we don't anchor it, it will break us. You feel it, don't you? The headaches, the dreams." Jace nodded. The last few nights had been strange. Dreams of running through forests with claws, waking with his heart pounding and sweat dripping down his back. Sometimes when Ryla looked at him, he felt something stir in his chest like part of him wanted to change. "So what do? We finish the bond," she said. "Fully, the right way." Jace's heart jumped. "What does that mean?" Ryla walked to the center of the circle and knelt. "Blood, spirit, choice." He hesitated. "Do I have to?" She looked up at him, her expression softer than he'd ever seen. "No, that is why it must be your decision. I cannot force it. But if we don't, others will try to break it. And one of us may die." Jay stepped forward slowly. The wind shifted around them. The old stones began to hum. He knelt across. "From her, what happens after?" He asked. She held out her claw and cut a shallow line on her palm. "After, we will be truly linked. In mind, in body, in instinct. I will feel what you feel. You will sense me, even in sleep. She held out her hand to him. Jace looked at her. Wild silver hair. Sharp glowing eyes. Armor scratched from battles she never told him about. And yet, she looked more human to him than most people he'd ever known. He took the blade and cut his palm. Their hands met. The bond struck instantly. It wasn't pain. It was pressure. Heat, light. Images flooded his mind. Memories that weren't his. A mountain. A cave. Rayleigh as a child, running with her sister. A war. A broken howl in the night. Then he felt his own memories pulled from his mind. His home, Earth, the stars, the crash. But now she was in them too. Their blood dripped onto the stone. The ground trembled. Rila's eyes glowed brighter, and a low growl escaped her lips. But it wasn't a threat. It was something deeper. Something primal. She leaned forward until their foreheads touched. "You are mine," she whispered. "By choice." Jace closed his eyes. "And you are mine." The bond sealed. When it was over, they sat back, breathing heavily. The air around them had changed. The jungle no longer felt cold. The statues, once broken, now glowed faintly. The temple had accepted them, but peace didn't last. A sound echoed from the trees. Footsteps. Not animal. Not beast. Many. Rayla stood quickly. "They followed us." Jace stood too, feeling the energy of the bond in his chest. He didn't feel afraid. He felt alive. Out of the trees stepped a group of werewolf warriors. Tall, strong, covered in tribal paint. At the center was a female older than Rayla, dressed in black with golden armor. Her eyes locked onto Rayla with cold fury. "You broke the order," the woman said. "You bonded with a human without trial." Rayla stepped forward. "He saved me. He chose me. The bond is true." The older female snarled. "Then you both must be judged." Jace stepped beside Rayla, ready to fight. But Rayla raised her hand. "No, I will not fight my blood." The woman stared at Jace. "Then the human will face our test," Rayla growled. "He is not ready." "He must be," the woman said. "Or you both die." Jace looked at Rayla. She was tense, furious, and afraid. He took her hand. "I'll face it," he said. She turned to him, her eyes wide. "You don't understand what it means." He nodded. "I don't, but I'm yours, and I'm not walking away now." Asterisk. The trial ground was deep inside the jungle, hidden by thick roots and glowing stone. A wide circle of earth had been cleared by claw and flame long ago. Bones were buried in the dirt. The trees around it stood silent, as if they too were watching. Jace stood alone in the center of the ring. Rayla stood outside the circle with her arms crossed, anger in her eyes. "This is madness. He is not one of us." The elder female, the one in golden armor, raised her hand. "He bonded with you, and now he must prove his worth. If he lives, the bond stands. If not, it was never meant to be." Jace swallowed hard. "So what do I have to do?" The elder pointed to the other side of the circle. A large figure stepped into view. It was another werewolf, but older, larger, with scars across his chest and glowing red eyes. He wore no armor, only claw marks and trophies on his belt. "You fight," the elder said. "No weapons, only will." Rayla stepped forward. "If he dies, I will never forgive this." The elder replied coldly, "Then you should have followed the old laws." Jace took a deep breath and stepped forward. The giant werewolf growled and charged. The first hit came fast. Jace barely dodged, rolling across the dirt. His side burned from a shallow cut. The beast was fast, too fast. But Jace remembered Ryla's training: move low, never back up, use the ground. He waited. The beast lunged again. This time Jace ducked under its arm, slammed his elbow into the ribs, and backed away before the claws could reach him. The crowd of werewolves around the circle growled and whispered. They had expected him to fall quickly. Jace's breath was heavy. His body screamed in pain. But he kept going. He moved again, dodged a swipe, rolled between the legs, and punched the back of the beast's knee. The werewolf stumbled. Jace jumped on its back and wrapped his arm around its neck. It roared, flinging him off like a doll. Jace hit the ground hard, gasping. Rayla stepped forward. Enough, but Jace lifted a hand. No, I'm not done. He stood up slowly, blood on his face, dirt in his hair. He stared at the beast. You want to test my spirit? Fine, come. Get it. The beast charged again. Jace didn't run. Instead, he dropped low at the last second, using all his weight to twist the beast's leg. It fell, hitting the ground hard. Dust flew up. The crowd gasped. Jace climbed onto its chest and raised a fist, then stopped. He looked around at the watching warriors. I'm not here to destroy you, he said. I didn't come to steal anyone. I didn't ask for this bond. But I'm not giving it up. Rayla chose me. I chose her. I'll fight anyone who tries to take that away. But not because I want power. I just want to stand by her side. He looked down at the fallen beast and stepped back. The elder watched in silence. Then she raised her hand. Enough. The beast stood slowly and looked at Jace with a new expression. Respect. He gave a single nod, then walked out of the circle. The elder approached Jace. You bled. You stood. And you showed mercy. The bond stands. Rayla rushed into the ring and caught Jace before he fell. His knees gave out, but she held him. You fool, she whispered. You should have stayed down. You'd never forgive me, he said with a weak smile. She smiled back. That's true. That night, the temple fires burned brighter. The clans did not speak much, but the silence was no longer cold. Some nodded toward Jace. Others simply stayed back. But none challenged the bond again. Jace sat beside Rayla on a flat stone. The stars above them were sharper, brighter somehow. Her hand rested on his. So what happens now? He asked. She looked at him with a soft expression. Now you learn to live like one of us. No more running, no more hiding. And us? She leaned closer. You are mine now, Jace. Not because of blood. Because you chose it. He looked into her glowing eyes, brushed a strand of her silver hair aside, and smiled. Then I'm yours. Forever. In the heart of an alien world, a human and a werewolf girl sat side by side, two different souls, one unbreakable bond, and neither of them would ever be alone again.